What if I told you that the entire Western educational system and employee performance and development philosophy we've long utilized is utterly backwards? And more than that, we've known this to be true for nearly 80 years. Find out more on today's episode of Raising the Bar with Omar L. Harris. Hello, leaders. Welcome back to Raising the Bar. I'm Omar L. Harris, and in today's episode, we're diving deep into the transformative world of strengths-based leadership, a key concept birthed from the positive psychology movement. We'll explore how this approach not only enriches leadership, but also maximizes the diversity and capacity of our teams. The story of strengths-based leadership begins with an insightful pivot in the field of psychology. For decades, psychology focused primarily on addressing what was wrong with people, mental illnesses, and psychological problems. This changed radically with the advent of positive psychology, beginning in the 1950s, when psychologists began studying what is right with people, our strengths and virtues. In the 1950s, Abraham Maslow introduced the hierarchy of needs, which emphasized self-actualization as the pinnacle of human development. Maslow believed that psychology should not only address dysfunction, but should also study what constitutes positive mental health and thriving. Similarly, Carl Rogers, another giant in humanistic psychology, emphasized concepts like self-worth, growth, and fulfillment as central to his approach. Rogers introduced the idea of unconditional positive regard in therapy, which involves accepting and respecting others as they are without judgment or evaluation. These theories laid the groundwork for what would become the core principles of positive psychology, enhancing well-being through positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishments. For leaders, this translates into focusing not just on correcting weaknesses, but more importantly, on fostering the unique strengths and potential of their team members. One of the seminal studies that helped pave the way for this shift was conducted by Donald O. Clifton, often considered the father of strengths-based psychology. In the 1960s, Clifton was intrigued by the idea of what would happen if we studied what was right with people. In his quest to identify what leads to excellence in the workplace, Clifton and his team conducted thousands of interviews with individuals who excelled in their roles across various industries. These interviews were designed to uncover the specific talents that made these individuals stand out. From this wealth of qualitative data, Clifton and his researchers were able to categorize recurring themes of success and excellence into 34 unique talent themes, a first-time language of talent and strength. These themes are what we now recognize as the core elements of the CliftonStrengths assessment. This methodology was revolutionary. It shifted the focus from what was lacking to what was inherently powerful within each individual, offering a customized lens through which people could see their unique potential and direct their personal and professional development more effectively. By using the CliftonStrengths assessment, leaders can not only discover their own strengths, but also better understand the natural talents of their team members. This insight allows for more strategic team compositions where tasks and responsibilities are aligned with individual strengths, thus optimizing performance and satisfaction across the board. In a weakness-based framework, the focus is often on identifying flaws and inefficiencies, which can inadvertently lead to a culture of negativity. This constant emphasis on what's wrong can stifle creativity and lower morale, as it places team members in a defensive position, always trying to compensate for their perceived shortcomings. Now to the strengths-based approach. Here, the energy is channeled into building on what's already working. This positive focus helps individuals feel valued and confident, driving them to contribute more effectively and enthusiastically. Teams that operate from a place of strength are not only more productive, but also more innovative. They're engaged because they're operating in their zone of genius, where they can naturally excel without the strain of constantly addressing weaknesses. This shift from a deficit focus to a strengths focus doesn't just improve outcomes, it transforms them. By fostering an environment where strengths are recognized and celebrated, leaders can unlock a higher level of commitment and innovation among their teams. It's about leveraging diversity, the diverse strengths of individuals, to achieve a common, robust goal. Still, there are several reasons why modern leadership often sticks to more traditional weakness-focused models. First, there's a deep-rooted cultural inertia. Many organizations are built on long-standing practices that focus on minimizing weaknesses to avoid risks. Changing this mindset is not just about adopting new practices. It involves a fundamental shift in the organizational culture and underlying values. Another big hurdle is misunderstanding what strengths-based leadership really entails. Some leaders worry that by focusing on strengths, they might neglect critical areas where improvement is genuinely needed. There's a fear that not addressing weaknesses could lead to significant gaps in skills and capabilities essential for the organization's success. Additionally, this transition to this approach requires specific training and resources that not all organizations are ready or able to invest in. It's not just a change in strategy, but a whole shift in how performance is measured and evaluated. Traditional performance metrics are often not designed to support a strengths-focused approach. Risk aversion also plays a role. A new leadership style appears riskier, especially when traditional methods are well entrenched and seemingly working fine. Organizations may hesitate to overhaul their established systems and practices without guaranteed outcomes. And let's not overlook the leadership transition challenges. For a strengths-based organization to take root, it needs strong advocacy from the top. If current leaders are not fully on board, it's challenging to implement such foundational changes throughout the organization. So despite the proven advantages of focusing on strengths, these challenges hold back its widespread adoption. But knowing these barriers also gives us a roadmap for change. By addressing each of these issues head on, we can begin to transform our workplaces into environments where everyone's unique strengths are recognized and celebrated. Understanding why strengths-based leadership isn't universally adopted is just the first step. The next, and perhaps most crucial step, is evolving from a weakness-focused to a strengths-focused leadership model. This transition isn't just beneficial, it's transformative for both leaders and their teams. To start this evolution, leaders must first embrace a mindset shift. This involves moving away from constantly identifying and fixing weaknesses to recognizing and cultivating strengths. It's about changing the narrative from what's lacking to what's working. Leaders can begin this shift by undergoing training and adopting new tools that focus on identifying strengths, such as the CliftonStrengths assessment. Once leaders understand their own strengths, the next step is to facilitate the discovery across their teams. This can be done through team workshops, strengths assessments, or even one-on-one coaching sessions. The goal is for every team member to not only identify their own strengths, but also appreciate the diverse strengths of their colleagues. Integrating this approach into daily leadership practices involves aligning tasks, projects, and roles with the identified strengths of team members. This alignment allows individuals to work in their areas of strength, which naturally boosts engagement, satisfaction, and productivity. Leaders should also strive to create a culture that continuously acknowledges and celebrates these strengths. This could be through regular recognition and meetings, performance reviews that highlight strengths use, or informal feedback sessions that encourage positive reinforcement. Additionally, leaders should leverage the diverse strengths within their teams to tackle complex problems and innovate. When team members are encouraged to apply their best skills and natural talents, the collective problem-solving capacity of the team expands dramatically. This not only leads to better outcomes, but also fosters a sense of ownership and pride among team members. Ultimately, Embedding a strengths-based approach into leadership practices means rethinking traditional hierarchies and workflows. It requires leaders to be flexible and adaptive, allowing team dynamics to shift as the strengths of different team members are leveraged at different times. The result is a more dynamic, resilient team that can face challenges more effectively and seize opportunities more readily. As we wrap up today's discussion on transforming leadership from a weakness-focused to strengths-based approach, let's take a look at some real-world examples of companies that have embraced this philosophy and witnessed remarkable success. Take Gallup, for instance, a pioneer in strengths-based psychology. Gallup has not only developed the CliftonStrengths assessment, but has also implemented strengths-based strategies within its own operations and client organizations globally. They report increased employee engagement levels, higher productivity, and greater profitability as a result of focusing on employee strengths. Another standout example is Google. Known for its innovative HR practices, Google has integrated strengths-based leadership into its development programs. By actively encouraging employees to work on projects that align with their strengths, Google has fostered an environment of continual learning and substantial innovation, making it one of the most desirable workplaces in the world. Then there's the case of Toyota, which applies the strengths-based approach in its production system. Toyota's philosophy emphasizes respect for people, and by aligning tasks with individuals' strengths, they have enhanced operational efficiency and employee satisfaction. This alignment not only reduces waste, but also empowers employees, contributing to the company's reputation for manufacturing excellence. These companies show us that when organizations focus on amplifying strengths rather than merely correcting weaknesses, they unlock potential in ways that reshape their futures. These successes aren't just about increased numbers on balance sheets. They represent transformative shifts in workplace culture and employee fulfillment. So, if you're ready to lead your team to new heights, consider how you can integrate a strengths-based approach into your leadership style. Start by identifying the unique strengths within your team and think about how you can structure work to make the most of these talents. The potential benefits are vast, from boosting morale and engagement to driving innovation and productivity. Thank you for joining me on Raising the Bar. Remember, every leader has the potential to change not just outcomes, but lives by focusing on what makes each team member unique. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the show if you found this episode valuable. Until next time, keep raising the bar and celebrating strengths in your organization.